Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we are diving into two words that confuse so many English learners at every level. And these are words you hear and read every single day. We are talking about loss and lost. Two words that look almost the same, sound almost the same, but work in very different ways.
Yes, and the funny thing is that people often feel like they know these words because they've seen them so many times. But when it comes to actually using them in a sentence, many people freeze or just guess. So today we're going to fix that completely.
Let us start from the very basics. Where do these two words even come from? Both loss and lost come from the same root, which is the verb to lose. To lose means to no longer have something, to be unable to find something, or to fail at something. So both words are connected to that same idea of not having or not winning.
But even though they come from the same place, they work very differently in a sentence. And that's what we're going to break down today in a way that's really easy to understand and remember.
So let us start with loss. Loss is a noun. A noun is a word that names a thing, a feeling, a concept, or an event. Loss names the experience or the result of losing something. It's the thing itself, not the action.
So when something is gone, when you no longer have it, the state of not having it is called a loss. The death of a loved one is a loss. Losing a job is a loss. A team losing a match results in a loss. Losing money is a financial loss. In every case, loss is the name of what happened.
Think of it this way. If losing is the action, then loss is the result of that action. Losing is the verb in motion. Loss is the noun that sits there and names the outcome.
And because loss is a noun, it behaves the way nouns behave. You can put the word a or the in front of it. A loss, the loss. You can make it plural. Losses. You can describe it with adjectives. A great loss, a terrible loss, a significant loss, a personal loss.
So you might hear someone say, the team suffered a heavy loss last night, or the company reported massive losses this quarter, or the death of her grandmother was a huge loss for the entire family. In all of these, loss is the thing being talked about. It's a noun doing its noun job.
Now let's talk about lost. Lost is the past tense and the past participle of the verb to lose. So lost is a verb form. It's what happens to the verb lose when you put it in the past.
So if today I lose my keys, then yesterday I lost my keys. The action of losing happened in the past, and lost is how we say that. I lost my phone. She lost her wallet. They lost the game. He lost his job. These are all simple past tense sentences where lost is the main verb.
And past participle means lost is also used in perfect tenses. I have lost my keys. She has lost a lot of weight. They had lost the match before the rain started. In all of these, lost is working together with have or had to form a perfect tense.
So, to recap so far, loss is a noun. It names the result of losing. Lost is the past tense and past participle of the verb to lose. It describes an action that happened in the past.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting, because lost does not only work as a verb. Lost can also work as an adjective. An adjective is a word that describes a noun, and lost is used this way very often in everyday English.
When you say a lost dog, lost is describing the dog. The dog is lost. It cannot find its way home. When you say a lost cause, lost is describing the cause. It means the situation is hopeless. There is no chance of success. When you say she had a lost look on her face, lost is describing her expression. She looked confused or distant.
So lost as an adjective carries the meaning of being unable to find the way, being confused, being without direction, or being beyond saving. You can be physically lost, like when you can't find your way in a new city, or you can be emotionally lost, like when you don't know what to do with your life.
And this is actually a really rich use of the word. I got lost on the way to the restaurant. He felt completely lost after losing his job. The children were lost in the forest. She was lost in her thoughts. Each of these uses lost as an adjective or as a part of a verb phrase to describe a state of being.
Now, let's talk about where these words are used in real life, because understanding the context makes everything click into place.
Loss is used a lot when talking about emotions and grief. When someone close to you dies, people express their condolences by acknowledging your loss. "I'm so sorry for your loss" is one of the most common phrases in English used to show sympathy. Here, loss refers to the person who has passed away and the emotional experience of no longer having them in your life.
Loss is also used heavily in business and finance. Companies report profits and losses. An investment that goes wrong results in a financial loss. A store that sells something below cost sells it at a loss. Understanding this use of loss is really important if you ever read business news or work in any kind of financial environment.
Loss is used in sports too. A team's loss means they didn't win the game. The standings in a league are often shown as wins and losses. A player or team on a losing streak has suffered multiple losses in a row.
And loss is used in very human and personal ways too. The loss of a friendship, the loss of confidence, the loss of memory, the loss of purpose. These are all ways that loss describes something emotional or abstract that has been taken away or has disappeared.
Now for lost in real life. Lost is everywhere in daily conversation. "I lost my phone. Have you seen my keys? I think I lost them." She lost her temper during the argument. He lost track of time. They got lost trying to find the venue.
Lost also appears in very common English expressions and idioms. Get lost is an informal and sometimes rude way to tell someone to go away. Lost for words means you're so surprised or emotional that you can't think of what to say. Lost in translation means something doesn't carry the same meaning when moved from one language or context to another.
At a loss is a very important phrase that mixes both ideas together. When you say, "I'm at a loss," it means you're completely confused or you don't know what to do. It combines the noun idea of loss with the adjective idea of being lost. "I'm at a loss for what to say." She was at a loss about how to fix the problem. This is a very natural and common expression.
And "there's no love lost between two people" means two people don't like each other at all and neither side feels bad about it. These kinds of expressions show you how deeply these words are woven into everyday English.
Now let us get into the mistakes, because this is where a lot of learners really benefit. Knowing the mistakes helps you avoid them and helps you understand why something sounds wrong.
The first and most common mistake is using lost when loss is needed, or loss when lost is needed, because they look so similar. Someone might write "she felt a lost" when they mean "she felt a loss." Or they might write "the loss of his job was painful" when they mean "the loss of his job was painful."
The easy fix here is to ask yourself, is this word doing the job of a noun or a verb in this sentence? If you need a naming word, a thing, an experience, a concept, use loss. If you need a past action, something that happened, use lost.
Another mistake is treating loss as a verb. Someone might say, "she lost her bag yesterday." That is wrong. Loss is never a verb. The correct sentence is "she lost her bag yesterday." Lost is the past tense verb. Loss is the noun. They do not swap jobs.
A related mistake is writing loose instead of lose or lost, which is a spelling confusion that shows up a lot. Loose means not tight. Lose is the verb meaning to not have something anymore. Lost is the past tense. These three words look very similar, but they are completely different. "I do not want to lose this opportunity" is wrong. "I do not want to lose this opportunity" is correct.
And then there's the mistake of using loss in the plural in situations where it doesn't quite fit. Loss can be made plural when you're talking about specific instances. The company reported 3 major losses this year. That is fine. But sometimes learners overuse the plural in emotional or abstract contexts where it sounds unnatural. Each context needs a little feel for what sounds right.
Another mistake that intermediate learners make is forgetting that lost can be an adjective and only using it as a verb. When a teacher says, "you look lost," they don't mean you lost something, they mean you look confused. Recognizing lost as an adjective opens up a whole layer of English that feels very natural to native speakers.
And one more mistake worth mentioning. Some learners say, I am feeling a loss when they want to express confusion or not knowing what to do. The correct phrase is, I am at a loss. The preposition at is a fixed part of that expression. Feeling a loss usually refers to grief or missing someone. Being at a loss means being confused or stuck. These are two different meanings, even though they sound similar.
Now let's talk about building confidence, because we really want everyone listening to walk away from this feeling stronger, not more confused.
One thing that helps a lot is to collect real examples from the things you read and watch. When you come across loss or lost in a book, a news article, a movie, or a conversation, stop for just a second and ask yourself, is this word doing the job of a noun, a verb, or an adjective right now? Doing this consistently rewires how your brain processes these words.
Another confidence builder is to make your own example sentences. Don't just read examples that other people wrote. Write your own. Write 5 sentences using loss as a noun. Write 5 sentences using lost as the past tense verb. Write 5 sentences using lost as an adjective. When you produce the language yourself, it becomes part of your active vocabulary.
And remember that these kinds of small confusions are completely normal. Even intermediate and advanced learners get tripped up by words like this. The fact that you're learning about it means you're paying attention and growing. That already puts you ahead.
A lot of learners also gain confidence when they realize that context almost always makes things clear. Even if you're not 100% sure whether to use loss or lost in a given moment, the rest of your sentence will usually guide you. Trust the sentence you're building.
And don't be afraid to speak. The worst thing you can do is stay silent because you're afraid of getting loss and lost mixed up. Native speakers make small grammatical slips all the time. What matters is that you're communicating, you're expressing yourself, and you're practicing. Every conversation is a lesson.
There's also something really powerful about understanding the grammar behind words rather than just memorizing them. When you know that loss is a noun and lost is the past tense verb and adjective, you're not just memorizing 2 words, you're understanding how the language works. And that understanding transfers to thousands of other words.
Exactly. Once you understand noun versus verb versus adjective at a comfortable level, navigating new words becomes much easier. You start seeing patterns everywhere.
All right, let's bring it all together. Loss is a noun. It names the result or experience of losing something. It can be made plural as losses. It's used in emotional, financial, sports, and personal contexts. Tell the truth, tell a story, and no love lost are examples of fixed expressions.
Lost is the past tense and past participle of the verb to lose. It's also used as an adjective to describe a person, thing, or situation that is without direction, confused, or beyond saving.
Common mistakes include using lost as a noun by writing a lost instead of a loss, using loss as a verb instead of lost, confusing loss and lost with the spelling of loose and lose, and not recognizing lost as an adjective. The phrase at a loss means confused and should not be confused with feeling a loss, which relates to grief.
Practice by reading and listening actively, writing your own sentences, and speaking without fear. Understanding the grammar behind the words will carry you much further than just memorizing definitions.
These 2 small words carry so much meaning, and now that you understand them properly, you're going to notice them everywhere. In conversations, in books, in movies, in your own thoughts. And every time you see them clearly, your confidence grows just a little more.
Thank you so much for being here today with us. Share this with a friend who's working on their English. The more you teach what you learn, the better it becomes part of you.
See you in the next one.